Hello there, guys. Welcome back to the live stream. Today, I'll be playing Weather Nation for 4 whole fucking hours. I am tired because I was up until 4 a.m. last night. I really need to wash my face to wake up. Hello there, viewer. I am tired. I'll be playing Weather Nation for 4 hours. So yeah, I don't care. I'll check the comments. I don't even care anymore. Alright, here we go.
Cheyenne, Wyoming, scattered showers as we go today. Tomorrow, more widespread rain Tuesday. Check out the warming trend. We're back into the 70s and 80s by the end of the week. Over into the I-5 corridor, temperatures are in the 70s. Fortunately, it's not going to stay like that as we go through the next few days. The cold front's going to work on shore. Clouds build back in. Not as wet as we've seen, but still dropping our temperatures in places like Seattle, Portland, down into the 60s before we warm back up. As I mentioned, here comes that cold front as we get towards the end of the day today. Stray shower or two, not a washout, but clouds stick around into our Monday, and that's what sets us up with all that scattered activity along the Rockies and then farther to the east. High pressure tries to build back in briefly as we get into Tuesday, but notice we do have a little bit more rain that will work in. Again, not a lot is expected between now and Tuesday, just enough that it stays damp through the Pacific Northwest. Spokane, Washington, 70s are in the forecast by Wednesday. Let's take it south, though, where we saw some heavy spring snow into Colorado. The top video, courtesy of Casey, Patrick.
Yeah, right. He works here at Performance One Media. We appreciate that imagery out of Centennial, Colorado, of the snow that was coming through as we were making our way really through the entire weekend. There's still some more snow even lingering out into areas of Colorado again this morning and into the afternoon. So therefore, we're not completely out of the woods for the wintry weather yet, but we're also adding in some of those red flag warnings into the Four Corners, mainly for Utah, far western Colorado. This is where we're likely going to see that fire weather threat picking up because the winds are going to be gusty because of this low pressure system right here. And you'll notice on the western side of that low, it's dry, no moisture, but we see where that moisture is. It's on the eastern side of the low coming through Colorado and into areas of the plains of Kansas and Nebraska. And that's going to be a big system for that strong and severe weather as we make our way through Monday and into Tuesday out into Texas and Oklahoma as well as the state of Kansas. Temperature-wise for today, as we look at some of the numbers, Denver 58 this afternoon, much warmer in Las Vegas. We're at 93 today. 68 for Los Angeles, 69 in San Diego. A lot of these temperatures hovering down near that average for this time of the year, whether it's Reno, San Francisco, or even Los Angeles and San Diego. But look at Denver, 16 below the normal high today. So that's feeling like a typical rearrangement for this time of May in the Mile High City. But look at that heat out west. Phoenix, Tucson, 96 to 97.
Actually,
the expected highs today. Roswell, New Mexico, a bit cooler.
I'm going to put you guys here.
And then in Trinidad, we'll be at 66 for that.
I'm rearranging around my room just a little so I can actually use my window. I was about to say. I hate pulling all-nighters. I almost did actually all-nighter. I was all the way up until like 3 a.m. 3 to 4 a.m. My money don't jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you leave. I have to put it down on the side. room sucks. This should work. Until I get my room cleaned, you do not want to see how dirty this room is. It's dirty as hell. Trust me, guys, on that. Technically, I have the same layout as my grandma. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. Done. I don't know if that made it better or worse. But overall, my room's a mess. But now I can use my chair as some worth in it.
Now, that's just one of the stories that we're tracking. We're also going to be tracking some record heat out east, as well as some pretty intense thunderstorms stretching from the U.S.-Canadian border through the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, there's a large coverage area for severe today, but it's another multiple-day severe weather threat into areas of Texas and Oklahoma in the coming days. So we've got a lot to get to, Chelsea. We're going to start with the Northeast first. This is an area where we're going to be waiting on these storms to really start to take shape as we make our way through the afternoon and into the evening hours. So as we take a look at what's happening with those conditions for earlier today, that is out of Saranac Lake, New York. Hey, it was quiet, but it might not be that way for this afternoon. I'll talk more about that here over the next few minutes. So what am I looking at right now? What do I have behind me here? Well, I've got all the severe storm reports within the last 24 hours. You'll notice there's a lot of yellow and a lot of blue coloring here on the map. Those are the hail and wind reports. The blue colors, those are the wind reports, and then the yellow colors are the hail reports. So we saw wind and hail reports extending from Maine all the way down into the middle Mississippi River Valley and all across the mid-Atlantic. I think more on the way. More of this strong weather that's going to be building, especially with our daytime viewing this afternoon. Areas along the coast could be up here record high potential today. That includes Philadelphia. That includes Boston. So it really shows us that the atmosphere is going to be right for a cold front to come right in and smack into this very warm and muggy air and produce that risk for severe thunderstorms. The tornadic threat is going to be more confined across areas of the far northeast. So we're looking through upstate New York all the way into northern Maine. We could see some rotating thunderstorms closer to the low pressure system for places like Millinocket right up to the border with Canada. That's where that tornadic threat could be a bit more on the higher side. So we might even see a few tornadoes try to form in that particular part of the region. And it's because of the location of that low. It's coming through Maine, so there's only going to be some natural
I think I
spin in
actually
the atmosphere
also
with that counterclockwise spinning around the low. So therefore, it might be easy for a tornado to try and form. That's why the chances are much higher up there. But look at all these thunderstorms that are going to be building along the as far as storm chances, it's widespread today. It'll be more isolated to scattered in nature when it comes to the severe risk. So we don't want you to let your guard down, say you're watching in Pittsburgh or Baltimore and you're not seeing anything severe. A lot of these areas just going to be dealing with more of a general thunderstorm chance. It'll be really intense more up into northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and into the state of Maine. And of course, we're going to be here tracking it like we always do when it comes to that weather. So stay here through the afternoon. Maybe you're curious about a severe thunderstorm warning. Just turn on Weather Nation, and we're going to be there covering it on Viper radar. There's the rainfall potential. Looks like northern Maine will see some of the highest rainfall in the next day. Doesn't look like it's going to be too widespread, so that's why isolated is what we're looking at when it comes to excessive
This water
rain.
still looks
so not
good.
Going to be widespread, but anywhere from Maine down through the mid-Atlantic, there could be some isolated spots getting some flash flooding. But I mentioned Boston, Chelsea. It's going to be a warm and muggy day in eastern Massachusetts, and you've got more on some record high potentials today.
You know, before those storms come in, we could be breaking some records along the I-95 corridor and closer to the coast. We broke records yesterday, high temperatures getting into the 80s, 90s, which breaks records in places like Islip, New York, 90 degrees. Richmond, Virginia, 95 breaks the old record of 93, set back in 1934 for the date yesterday, May 21st. There are still heat advisories out there for not just the air temperatures, but what it's going to feel like when you step outside, because it's going to hit you like a wall. We're looking at that potential for the humidity to be a factor in the forecast. So we have several cities that could break records. Hartford, Boston, down into northern northern portions of Virginia. And there's just a couple of cities that will be out there of really now the ridge that's keeping us hot gets pushed out of here. The severe weather threat comes through and temperatures drop. A
No!
lot of the temperatures are dropping already through the central
Sorry, guys.
U.S.
My mom.
Speaking of
Yeah,
that,
stop
so
it.
far this morning, you can see places like Nashville, Indy, Little Rock, Dallas, and 15 to 20 plus degrees cooler to start our day behind. We're going to completely change.
I don't even know what's
topics,
wrong
take
with
you
my
out
thing.
to Neves Bay and then Glilla. We've seen some heavy rain through portions of the Caribbean, Patrick. Although we're always on alert when it comes to this time of year.
Yeah, because we get these complexes of showers and thunderstorms, and sometimes they can start to come together, merge together, start to circulate a little bit, and then we're looking at something that's being monitored by the National Hurricane Center. Now, I will say this, nothing being monitored right now, no activity expected in the next 5 days. And you might be saying, well, why are we even looking at the tropics? Well, the month of May has had named storms before in the Atlantic Basin. So even though the official start for the Atlantic hurricane season isn't until June the 1st, we've got some time left on the calendar. Well, we can still see activity this time of the year as conditions are starting to become more favorable for tropical development just with this time of the year out in the Atlantic waters. Now, one thing that we're getting is Saharan dust. That's really limiting any tropical development. Tropical systems, they don't like dry air. They don't like dust. They want the mugginess. They want the moisture. So the dry air actually doing a good job of preventing anything from organizing in the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico.
Skull Shaver, the power of a smooth, clean shave in the palm of your hand. Pitbull Skull Shaver has a battery life of 90 minutes. Its blades can fold perfectly in your hand to ensure no nails from cuts.
Taking care of everything. Even Easter
All this in a
candy.
smoothly shaven head in just 90 seconds. You can do that? Valley cleanup? It's nice and easy because it catches all the hair without getting everywhere. And it rinses just like that. Don't be rough. Be smooth with the Pitbull Skull Shaver.
Introducing the all-new Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. It combines shaving and gentle exfoliation into one efficient stroke for a shave as quick and easy as washing your face.
Non-valvular AFib can mean a lifetime of blood errors. And if you are troubled by falls and bleeds, worry follows you everywhere. Over 200,000 people have left their therapies behind with Watchman. It's a one-time, minimally invasive procedure that reduces stroke risk and bleeding worries for life. Watchman.
I was about to throw out a bubble pop.
With so much at stake and Roe versus Wade on the chopping block, governors are the last line of defense to protect abortion. And in New York, the Republican candidates want to strip it away. But Kathy Hochul won't let that happen. She's working to amend the state constitution so that no matter how the Supreme Court rules in Washington, your right to a safe abortion is protected in New York.
I will always protect reproductive rights and keep abortion access safe in New York.
What the
James
fuck?
Corden is stepping down as host of CBS's Late Late Show next year.
Abortion?
He has been the host since 2015, but says 2023
James
will be his
Corden?
last. He plans on working on other projects and finishing his final year with a bang.
I get the smell in my head. I get the scent when she's out there. Jimmy Choo Man, fragrance for men.
Well, we're starting your east forecast, looking out into some of the storms that came through really yesterday, late yesterday. We had a ton of hail and wind reports that were embedded in some of those storms, and it did bring some relief to the heat that was out there as well. Some of us along the I-95 corridor still going to be watching for some records and for the heat to still be out there. We have some alerts, but the strong storms building in this afternoon will drop our temperatures. It can also, though, bring in some localized flooding. I'm meteorologist Chelsea Ambrose. I'm going to detail that northern forecast for you, and then we'll send things over to meteorologist Patrick Crawford, and you'll have the southeast forecast. But you can see where those storms were yesterday, just based on where the wind reports are, all of those blue dots, and the hail reports, all of those yellow dots, right along the cold front that's slowly meandering its way through this area. There was a lot of those reports. Same thing in the warm sector. That warm sector, that's where we're going to build in the heat today. So the I-95 corridor closer to the coast, records are going to go down. But there's the cold front we're tracking. And as that cold front works into this area that's shaded in yellow, we could be looking at some strong and severe storms. The likelihood for an isolated tornado is not out of the question, although it is going to be up into the Adirondacks, the Green, the White Mountains, and up into northern Maine. So it's going to be very isolated as we head into this afternoon. Already dealing with that chance for some storms to fire up this afternoon. We've had some light rain this morning, but better chance for intensifying those storms later on. That lasts through the evening hours. Notice this is paused at 6 o'clock. The I-95 corridor might have a shower or two, but this is going to allow temperatures to reach those records as we head into the afternoon and evening before those storms come in. Again, we have to remember there could be some heavy rain as well as gusty winds and maybe even some hail as this passes through. As we go overnight, that system's out of here, and then we're just left with some scattered showers off and on both Monday and Tuesday, a little bit farther south than New England, a little bit farther south than Pennsylvania and New York State. We have ongoing alerts out there for the heat because, yes, we're getting into the mid and upper 90s, but it could feel closer to 100, if not breaking that typically mark for heat indices as we head into this afternoon. I mean, check out the highs. Hartford 96, Boston 95, back closer to the lake shores. We're still going to be in the 60s, but that's again on the back side of the cold front. So Boston, you will get that drop down into the 60s, but the It's going to take a little longer for the cooler air to catch up with that boundary. So Monday in the 70s, Tuesday in the 60s. As we're looking at the extended forecast for Hartford, Connecticut, today, if we get up into the mid-90s, we will tie and break records around the city. You can see the thunderstorms, though, arriving later on today. Cooler pattern back into the 70s, almost where we should be for this time of year. As I mentioned, the rain that comes through today could lead to some localized ponding, so there could be some heavy downpours with some localized flooding, especially down into West Virginia, Virginia. And notice all of that heavy rain just a little further south. That's where we could really be looking at flooding threats over the next few days. But for today, scattered showers through the Appalachia. Then we'll see that steady chance for rain building in as we get into Monday. Soggy forecast Charleston, soggy forecast Roanoke over to Richmond as we get into Tuesday. And then this system will move away and we'll have improving conditions. But still, in the 90s on the eastern side of the Appalachia, western side 60s and 70s. You can see through the extended forecast, we got some soggy days ahead with those temperatures dropping. But let's take you south. Talk about that forecast with Patrick as Panama City Beach is just looking fabulous. Fabulous this morning.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and when we're looking at that forecast along the coast, it is changing with that chance for some showers and thunderstorms riding up out of the Gulf of Mexico. So coastal conditions might not be great today compared to yesterday for places like Panama City Beach or Pensacola or even Destin, Florida. I'll be talking about that here over the next few minutes. Also going to be tracking some stormy conditions in our forecast for the southeast region really over the next several days. But look at how warm it was this morning. Temperatures since midnight dropped to 76 in New Orleans. That's as cool as it got there. Atlanta didn't even get in the 60s. 70 was what we're waking up with this morning. 72 in Charleston. We look at those temperatures for today, warming up in some spots, upper 80s, low 90s, like Charlotte and Columbus, and then into areas like Atlanta, upper 80s. We do have a cooler in Charleston because we're going to get some coastal showers and cloud cover, as well as here from Jackson down towards Mobile. Just going to be a stormy forecast that we see those temperatures and feel those temperatures a bit cooler than normal. Not as much as a result of the cold front up in places like Tallis and Little Rock. We're pushing 15 degrees cooler than normal for today. There's the outlook for severe thunderstorms. Chelsea went into detail on everything that's happening up north into Virginia, West Virginia, but down through the Carolinas and the rest of the southeast to the Gulf Coast, there's going to be that rough weather moving in throughout the day today. And some of this could be ongoing into tomorrow morning. Look at those storms into Alabama and western Georgia along the coast for southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. So likely could have some coastal showers and storms impacting the morning conditions for these areas. Notice how that front stalls a bit and then another system starts to interact with that frontal boundary. That's going to be a big system that's going to be producing scattered showers and storms all across the southeast region as we get from Tuesday and into Wednesday. So there's heavy rain on the way, to say the least. We're seeing a lot of yellow and orange here on the map, getting into some of those darker reds across southern Alabama and across central and western and North Carolina as we're anticipating some of the heavy rain. Now, we have had, or I should say, seen some heavy rain and had some heavy rain into Florida, anywhere from Jacksonville through Orlando over towards Daytona Beach down to Tampa. Big bullseye of several inches of rainfall just within the last few days, and we're going to add some more on top of that. So the ground's already very saturated. Any additional rain could lead to a flooding risk throughout central and northern Florida in the coming days. 87 in Tallahassee today, much warmer in Tampa, 95. I got a feeling you'll warmer with all that mugginess. But as we track the rain, it's going to be more for the Florida Panhandle today and tonight, maybe even tomorrow morning, and then we'll start to track those storms Monday and into Tuesday right there across northern Florida, where some of those numbers will be on the higher end. Look at Mobile, extended forecast today all the way through Tuesday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. That's going to be kind of the normal, if you will. Just some of those daytime heating storms, but some of those storms could be strong to severe with damaging winds and large hail. And
Or
maybe even some
small
water
cold.
potential.
I had loads of
Now, we're
tissue.
back in just a few minutes. Keep it right here on Weather Nation.
in my
More of
bag.
those top headlines coming up.
I have to go through all of these tissues.
Hello, summer. Goodbye, bugs. BugGuard Deep-Free Repellent. Protection for your
Yeah,
whole
right.
family. Expedition. All-in-one protection.
You know your
from sun and bugs.
product doesn't work.
Gentle Breeze. A water-resistant insect repellent plus sunscreen. Picaridin. For dusk and dawn when bugs are most active. BugGuard. We've got you covered.
I am such a snacker in my room.
I do everything. My baby's got a sensitive skin. My baby needs something for the skin.
My baby too.
Have you tried Hill's Science Diet, sensitive stomach and skin? It's gentle on dogs' tummies and helps nurse their skin and coats.
Hill's Science Diet is one of the many anythings PetSmart has for your dog's unique needs.
Anything else?
Where's the grooming?
Fancy treat? Do you need like top hats or little monocles or anything?
PetSmart, anything for pets.
There's a Rick and Morty sounding thing.
In the storied tradition of his great-great-grandmother, Goldie knows to never compromise. Too shabby. Too much. Too perfect. I can rent this for that price?
Absolutely.
What is this? Some kind of fairy tale? It's just right. Thank you. Book your Just Right rental at thrifty.com.
At Build with Ferguson, we know that bath time is really wind down time. That cooking together is about more than just food. And laundry day can be an excuse.
I have so much Uno attack.
Because we
I think Uno really did attack
that
me.
you keep up with you. With the best selection in home improvement, Build with Ferguson
I'm getting rid of these
brands
Uno
you
attack.
love that allow you to do you. Your home
Might save a
improved.
small
Build with
small-
Ferguson.
stuff. Some of these were destroyed. Everything that's destroyed or damaged is gonna get thrown out. Everything that's in one piece can stay. We have so much,
Well, you can see the instability in the atmosphere with this time lapse of the cumulus clouds growing in Newmarket, Alabama. All of that rising air as the thunderstorms were developing. We saw a lot of strong and severe storms yesterday, and we're still going to get in on that again today. So yesterday we saw hail across Texas, specifically anywhere from an inch to almost 2 inches in diameter. But we were We're also seeing that risk stretch pretty much from Texas all the way up into the U.S.-Canadian border. Patrick, can you help me here? My clicker's not working. As we push this forward,
My town reached that big size hail.
are going to be watching for some of those strong storms once again to work through these areas. And we do have a chance to see some strong storms out there. Notice from New Orleans all the way up into the mid-Atlantic, we could be looking at some of those scattered storm chances. But as we take this forward, we are going to continue to have that risk for some strong and severe storms, mainly some water spouts to move on shore between Pensacola, Tallahassee, Panama City. We had some storms this morning that could have had the amount of rain that we're looking at. Well, we could see widespread several rounds of heavy downpours, which would be anywhere from about an inch to 2 inches in these greens to yellows. But notice those whites and notice the reds that are out there. We will see that potential for some spots to flood because we could have 7+ inches, and that's what the Weather Prediction Center has highlighted here. Anywhere that's shaded in this green color, we could see some localized flooding, but especially back across Mississippi and Alabama, where that threat is going to be upwards of a slight risk. Temperatures not wavering too much, but for tomorrow dropping just a bit. A lot of days of active weather in that forecast, even behind the cold front. It's not just for the Mississippi River Valley, but also down into the Sunshine State. But let's take you over to Littleton, Colorado, where it's not the severe weather we're tracking, but the spring snow.
Yeah, it's just beautiful to see these mountains just snow-capped with that fresh snow that came through. But of course, when you get a wet, heavy snow like this time of the year, those power outages and the downed tree branches, it was unbelievable. We were looking at some of the damage that was done just from a heavy snow. It wasn't a severe event, but there were downed trees on the power lines, power outages all across a good portion of the Centennial State from this snow. Where that heavier snow was, that's more south of Denver, Lakesburg, Colorado Springs, north of Pueblo. That's where we saw some of the higher numbers that were checking in here at Weather Nation.
Nice.
Numbers that we're able to gather ranging anywhere from 8.2 to 28.5 inches. That is Howard, Colorado. That got up to that 28.5 inch mark. Colorado Springs just on Saturday had a record daily snowfall. Got up to 4.6 inches for the official snowfall report. So for that 24-hour window on the 21st of May, we had a previous record, which was actually set back in 2019. It wasn't too far ago, but that was 2.0 inches. So that new record has more than doubled the previous record. There's a look still at the ongoing power outages. Still several thousand customers around Denver and down towards Pueblo dealing without power for today. We look at a temperature change. There's actually some warmer temperatures compared to right now to where we were at this exact time yesterday. So there are some warmer conditions, a lot of melting of that snow that has fallen into Utah, Colorado, as well as Wyoming. Look at those lows that we had out there this morning. It was cold to say the least. Hatter, Montana got down to 22 degrees this morning, and that demolished the previous record, which was actually set last year on this date of 30 degrees. Now we've got a new record, and that is going to be for the 22nd of May of 22 degrees, set back in 2022. We look at this in the coming years now. We look at the last freeze on record for the city of Denver, Colorado, and we can see the numbers there on the list. The latest last freeze is actually June the 8th. That happened back in 2007. So we're going to keep an eye on those conditions in the coming days, see if Denver does get any of those record as far as the latest freeze of the year. We look here at that forecast. Moisture is what we're going to be tracking for these areas of Colorado, Wyoming, and then out through the plain states of Nebraska and Kansas. Could get some heavy rain on the way. Now you might be curious, well, what is the last average snowfall for some of the big cities? Well, here's meteorologist Chelsea Ambrose.
As we head through the spring months, most typically think about warmer days, but some of the United States still see snow this late in the year. No matter the calendar, Mother Nature dictates the average last snowfall. Some cities, like Rapid City, Denver, and Salt Lake City, get slammed with snow during the spring months. With that in mind, which U.S. city averages the latest measurable snowfall? The Twin Cities average over 50 inches of snow each winter, and it can snow here well into March and April. On average, the last snow of the season comes April 13th, and that doesn't even come close to the latest measurable snowfall for the U.S. On to the lake-effect state of New York. Buffalo, sitting on the edge of Lake Erie. It averages nearly 100 inches of snow each winter. It often starts in October, but the lake effect snow machine usually shuts down here by the end of the winter, making the last average snowfall April 15th. Still off the mark. One city notorious for late season snow, the mile-high city of Denver. Here it can snow as late as early June, making the average last snow date April 27th, which is the latest of any major U.S. city. Denver's elevation makes it especially prone to these late season snow events. But there's one more American city that averages an even later last snowfall, and it's north. This city can see snow all year round, and it's not Anchorage, but Yukavik in Alaska. Formerly known as Barrow, it averages snow each month of the year, including 0.2 inches each July. Technically, their last snow of the season, on average, falls on June 21st. So if you're dreading the heat and humidity as we keep warming up this season, know that Yukavik is only a 2,000-mile flight from Seattle. For Weather Nation, I'm meteorologist Chelsea Ambrose.
Gross. Thank you, Dark Lord. There's Bones Coffee. Oh, I've had Bones Coffee.
Oh, heavy.
You haven't had
Ow. Yeah, cool, but guys.
Killer concoctions.
Cannolis, salted pretzels, strawberry cheesecake.
Stop drinking hot bean water and resurrect your caffeine. Click the link to get yourself a bag of bones today.
I don't want the crazy student debt that comes with going to college, but WGU makes getting an accredited degree affordable. How affordable? Like half as much as most schools affordable. And that's before I even apply for any scholarships or grants. A nonprofit university that offers respected online programs and low tuition? I choose WGU.
Rick and Morty theme plays.
Dude, great ride, right?
This Silverado keeps me connected and in control. And this touchscreen is my command center. My command center.
The 2022 Silverado LT. Find new control. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups. Silverado, the #1 selling full-size pickup in the Albany market.
I have to charge this. Sorry, guys.
We're starting your central forecast time lapse of some clouds in Grand Forks, North Dakota yesterday. You can see some of the rain starting to work through. We had some pretty intense thunderstorms that drastically dropped our temperatures. I'm meteorologist Chelsea Ambries, and we are going to continue to deal with some frost and freeze concerns as we head into tomorrow morning. This morning it was cold, but we are going to be warming up through the rest of this week, and some scattered showers are going to be returning over the next few days as well. Checking out the amount of rain we're going to be watching into Kansas and Missouri between now and Tuesday evening. Some of us could be looking at some localized pockets of heavy rain leading to some flooding concerns. We're looking at about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Localized areas might even see up to 3. So timing-wise, today's looking good. Tomorrow, as we go overnight into Monday morning, scattered showers, scattered clouds start to work in. That takes over as we go through the day on Monday.
Apparently, I used to like shit night.
Springfield, Missouri. Heavy showers through Kansas, and that lasts not only Monday, but even as we get to Tuesday. Places like Kansas City, St. Louis. By Tuesday evening, check out some of these stronger storms that are going to be working through Rolla, down to Pine Bluff, moving through Paducah, and that's going to be bringing in some of the heavier downpours by the start of our work week, really Tuesday.
Season 8 has
St. Louis, that's going to warm us up though. Even with rain showers, we're going to be getting back into the 70s. Kansas City, we're going to be staying in the 60s with those storm chances. And Wichita, same thing. We're actually going to drop temperatures for Monday, Tuesday with overcast skies, with rain. Really not going to be able to warm up a whole lot. When usually this time of year, we're just shy of 80. Springfield, Missouri, scattered showers featured Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but then we'll dry out and warm up substantially for Friday and Saturday into the weekend. Although we did break records this morning across places like Nebraska, Montana. Check out how cool it got to. Places like Havre, 22 record, 30 previously set last year. And then North Platte, 27 breaks the old record of 30 for today's date, the 22nd. Previously set back in 2001. Now we are going to be warming up in places like Kearney, but it's not until we get towards the end of the week. I mean, today is our warm day, then the rain comes through. Bismarck, we're getting into the mid-60s though, so that's going to feel much better. But with the clouds, it's going to keep us on the cooler side the next few days. We have that chance for rain. Not expecting any snow. We're going to be a little too warm for that, but still an active off and on pattern both Monday and Tuesday for areas like Nebraska, Iowa, back out into the Dakotas, eventually moving into Minnesota, Wisconsin by Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday night into Wednesday. These areas not going to see as much rain. We're looking at about half an inch to an inch and a half. So a lot more of the heavier activity will be farther south. But check out Minneapolis. There's our storm chances Wednesday. We're getting into the upper 60s to upper 70s, if not the 80s, as we head into next weekend. That's going to feel a lot better if you're not a fan of this winter-like feel for mid-spring. Traverse City today, a high of 54. We're getting into the mid-60s by Tuesday, but not before another chilly night tonight. So again, Milwaukee, 59. We're going to stay in the 50s. We do have those frost and freeze alerts for first thing in the morning, or we're going to start out in the low to mid 30s, which any of our newly budding flowers or trees, they might get zapped with how chilly it's going to be tomorrow morning. Well, let's take you down to Galveston, where we're not dealing with the cooler air, we're dealing with the spring thunderstorm factor.
Yeah, and that was earlier in Galveston as we're tracking an intense line of thunderstorms coming through the Lone Star State. It was mainly down into the Gulf Coast, moved into areas of western and southwestern Louisiana as well. And we're going to continue to watch those coastal thunderstorm chances throughout the day today. Heavy rain will be possible. And then we're just looking at an active pattern off and on here throughout the week across a good portion of Texas and Oklahoma. We examine those high temperatures for today. The cooler air is up north, but warm and muggy conditions are down along the Gulf Coast. Brownsville at 92, 85 today, same for New Orleans.
I am Dorsey.
Conditions, especially along the frontal boundary from southern and southeastern Texas
I
along
repeat,
the Gulf Coast,
Benny's Worthy.
Mississippi. Look on the southern end of that stationary front out into northern Mexico and far west Texas. A lot of storms happening in those areas. The only thing is, this moisture is trying to make its way to the north. It's going to have a hard time getting all the way into areas that desperately need it. We were hopeful that maybe we get a lot more moisture with this particular forecast to help out with those ongoing fires in Mexico and out into Arizona and far west Texas. But unfortunately, there's still going to be some dry air mixing in, especially across the state of New Mexico. We look to Monday afternoon as this warm front is coming through. We're going to have a lot of lift associated with it. We're going to have a lot of instability. So we're going to get those strong updrafts, those fast developing thunderstorms that are going to be building in to that area of Texas. There's the heavy rain, and we could really see that building in East Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. Those are the bullseyes where we could get several inches of rainfall. More of those temperatures today, 86 in Alexandria, 88 in Houston. Along that I-35 corridor, Temple, Austin will be in the mid to upper 70s with those highs this afternoon. We look into the Pelican State of Louisiana, much cooler up north where Shreveport's at 76, and then into Baton Rouge, Bogalusa, we're going to be into the mid to upper 80s with those highs this afternoon. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, New Orleans, we've got storm chances those 3 days, including today. So for the next 4 days, there's going to be some storms around the Crescent City. We might see some rain out there tomorrow morning down into the deep south part of Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, and then Houston. Have that umbrella handy the next several days. We're going to have some off and on shower and thunderstorm chances. So Shreveport will clear out those storms later tonight. We'll dry it out tomorrow, but we add some more storms to that forecast Tuesday, Wednesday. Houston as well. A lot of that was from this morning when we're dealing with some active weather, and there's more of that on the way. We get out to West Texas, Lubbock, Midland, Fort Stockton, low 70s, the expected highs this afternoon. We look at some extended forecasts getting even warmer in Midland, up to 87 there by Tuesday. Abilene will be at 83 by Tuesday, 93 in Fort Stockton by Tuesday. So you see where I'm going with this. It might be cool for Monday, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll start to bring back in that heat for the state of Texas. There's Waco, Texas. We're out towards the I-35 corridor. We got thunderstorm chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in that part of central Texas. As we stop here up into the southern high plains, those temperatures 60s, 70s, and 80s. Not just today, but really over the next several days. We'll wrap it up.
Pamphlets
at
from
Tulsa,
old
Oklahoma.
Minecraft
We'll be back
Lego
in just a few minutes, including more updates on what's happening all across the country. Keep it right here on Weather Nation. The Phillies have it there. Keeps it right back in the middle to Mark Delgado. His shot, it's off the inside.
What a hit. What a hit from Mark Delgado here. And Ethan Finley has done a good job defensively here on
So you've worked at the same job for like 22 years, right? You're just not feeling it anymore. So you retired, and that's when it hit you. Maybe all you needed was a vacation. Let's go. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Let's go. As the owner of Wrexham Football Club, I need to watch out for our players. Wow. It's cold out there. Look, we got a big match coming up, and I know what you're worried about. Cybersecurity. How many of you have heard of 1Password? Good. So I guess you know that 1Password completely secures your digital life. Yeah. Let's talk nighttime skincare routines. 1Password. Smartest, secure for your career wrist.
An L chip head. We are the champions. Don't copyright me, YouTube. Rick and Morty theme goes on again. People are probably starting to get tired of me from saying that, but still, it sounds like the Rick and Morty theme. Have a shotgun, bitch. Just kidding. Stupid Nerf gun. It was just a Nerf gun, YouTube. Stupid Nerf gun. Oh, by the way, this is live weather. Okay. Amigo, why are you coming in? Really? What?
Well, starting with the
No, wait. 1 sec, guys.
out into Indiana,
I'm back, guys.
Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky. And you can see those reports coming in yesterday for winds anywhere from 60 to near 70 miles per hour. As we're looking at the hail reports, anywhere from the size of a penny to the size of a ping pong ball throughout Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, New York. You can see Central Square, New York, saw that ping pong ball size. We are still looking at scattered storm reports coming in from some of those isolated storms that came through yesterday ahead of the line. You can see where that line of reports is, the wind, the hail. We could see more of that again today, but shifting ever so slightly to the east, where we do have that threat highlighted here for this afternoon. We've already had a few isolated storms this morning. More or less, we're looking at a higher chance for it this afternoon. There could be some rotation from upstate New York, the Adirondacks, through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And this is just where one or two storms might try and spin just a bit. Remember, these areas are higher in elevation, so we might see some funnel clouds off in the distance as well. We had numerous tornado warnings yesterday. We're likely to see more along that cold front. Even isolated storms out ahead of the front. We'll have to watch for strong wind. This keeps working across these areas through much of the day. So some of these storms will have some time for large hail growth. They're going to be slowly moving comparative for the 24-hour period. But notice these storms into the evening hours, how they're still back farther to the west of that I-95 corridor. That's where we're going to see that chance for record highs from Hartford all the way through Massachusetts and up into places like southern New Hampshire for afternoon temperature. Then the rain works in as we head closer to sunset. Heavy downpours will come through, leaving us an isolated chance for some strong storms to flood through some of these areas. But it's not going to be a ton of rain as they work out of the region as we head towards midnight. Then looking at the extended forecast, It's just today we got to get through that heavy rain through the Appalachia and up into some of the higher elevations. But things cool down. We're comfortable in places like Buffalo the next few days after today, and then more rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Last stop for you, Baltimore. We go from 90 down to 74. It's going to feel so much better. Less humidity, less heat, but a lot of rain in that extended forecast. Speaking of a lot of rain, let's take you to San Antonio, Texas, where on the southern end of this same cold front, we had some strong storms yesterday.
Yeah, and we're going to have some more strong thunderstorms for the I-35 corridor. That includes Austin and San Antonio, but that's going to be more for Monday. And that's what we're going to talk about now as far as the severe forecast. It includes areas like Dallas and San Antonio. It gets all the way down to the border with northern Mexico. We're going to have some strong thunderstorms. We've already been tracking some strong weather down there along the Rio Grande Valley earlier today. Well, there could be more of that building in again for tomorrow, but there's a look at the areas that are included. Waco could see an isolated spin up in the form of a tornado for tomorrow, as well as Austin, San Antonio, out into places like Gatesville and Delano, and out towards Hamilton as well. We could see some of those strong thunderstorms trying to build in. I think there's going to be likely more of a wind and hail threat associated with those storms on Monday. So maybe right now you're watching in Austin, you're in San Antonio, you're preparing your outdoor activities for Monday. Well, just know that there will be likely some thunderstorms coming through, not just in the afternoon, but we could even see some thunderstorms during the morning hours, but mostly for the later part of the day as we get that daytime heating. Look at those cells bubbling up out into West Texas, northern Mexico, and we can see those storms continuing to come through the Lone Star State all the way into the early morning hours of Tuesday. And then our forecast is showing out towards the Arklatex and into northern Louisiana, some big thunderstorms Tuesday morning coming through. But notice where that severe risk gets shifts more to the east and to the northeast, gets up more into the Arklatex, more into the Red River Valley. And there are those storms I mentioned. I think maybe that forecast for severe weather gets extended a bit more to the east into northern Louisiana, just based on the storms that we're seeing there with the forecast data. We get into a little bit more low resolution when it comes to that forecast, but just the guidance is picking up on some thunderstorms around areas of Dallas up towards Ardmore and up into Oklahoma City. We look at excessive rain. So where are we tracking the potential for heavy rain, short duration? So that means flooding potential. Well, that includes cities like Amarillo, Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and that I-35 corridor. We're going to see those big thunderstorms, those big boomers out there tomorrow. Waco, Austin, San Antonio could be in on that heavy rain threat for Monday. And then Tuesday, that's going to be shifting more up into Oklahoma through the Arklatex and up into the middle Mississippi River Valley. So this includes Kansas City, Springfield, Little Rock, Tulsa, Shreveport, Dallas, all included in that slight risk of excessive rain as we make our way into Tuesday. So forecast model is hinting at that. It's showing where that heavy rain could be building in through central Texas, northeast Texas, the Arklatex, and then across the plains of Oklahoma and Kansas. So it is lining up, and the confidence is building that there will be some widespread flooding potential through many areas in the central and south central United States. But Chelsea, where we could use some of this moisture, we kind of seem to be talking about this leading into the fire weather threat. We could say we could use some moisture, some help from Mother Nature, but that pattern doesn't look to be changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw some of that accumulation try and develop into far eastern New Mexico, West Texas, but it's just not going to be enough for how large these fires are to put them out with any just one or two storms. We have this on burning fire, the Mesquite Heat Fire, that's in Abilene, or just outside of Abilene, over 11,000 acres and only 25% contained. Back out into New Mexico, we have 2 burning fires that are ongoing that have reached the top 5 for largest fires in New Mexico state history. That does include the Black Fire and the Hermit's Peak Fire, which we've been tracking. Unfortunately, today, New Mexico, Arizona, parts of Colorado, southern Utah, and Nevada also included in a risk for fire concerns, meaning conditions are so favorable for any new fire to just quickly spread. Not just today, but tomorrow, New Mexico, we're still watching that forecast for favorable conditions, and we have strong winds out of the south today. These fires could easily spread to the north. We'll have more on that west forecast up next.
At Build with Ferguson, we know that bath time is really wind down time. That cooking together is about more than just food. And laundry day can be an excuse to enjoy more time together. Because we believe that your space is the place that should keep up with you. With the best selection in home improvement, Build with Ferguson carries the trusted brands you love that allow you to do you. Your home improved. Built with Ferguson.
When the work heats up, every part of you heats up too. That's why Area Cooling Technologies are built with your whole body. From boots that breathe so your feet can too, to shirts that lower your core temperature under even the hottest sun. So go ahead, keep working hard, just not so hot. With Ariat head-to-toe cooling coverage that delivers a difference your whole body will feel. Ariat Work, the science of cool.
Summer's here, and with an exciting new Toyota, you can take a trip to the beach, the city, the mountains, the desert, the bayou. I think I'm sinking. Definitely sinking.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? A 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. That's the value you can expect from Toyota.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
When the work heats up, every part of you heats up too. That's why Area Cooling Technologies are built with your whole body. From boots that breathe so your feet can too, to shirts that lower your core temperature under even the hottest sun. So go ahead, keep working hard, just not so hot. With Ariat head-to-toe cooling coverage that delivers a difference your whole body will feel. Ariat Work, the science of cool.
We're starting the West forecast with our producer Michelle's favorite view out there, Jackson, Wyoming, where you can see the snow-capped mountains still with that fresh snow. Down into Seattle, trees are starting to bloom. It's starting to finally warm up and feel a lot more like spring. I'm meteorologist Chelsea Ambrose. I'm going to detail this Northwest forecast for you, and then we'll send things over to meteorologist Patrick Crawford for the Southwest. Scattered rain and snow do remain in our forecast, especially for the high country of the Rockies. It is going to be chilly this morning, and we will see a chance for additional frost concerns tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we're going to be warming up and drying out for the coastal areas. Last couple of days, some of that snow has been on the lighter end of the spectrum, but still, nonetheless, we have had some of it out there, and we keep that chance for additional snow chances over the next few days. Still, in the 90s, on the
I'm
eastern
back,
side of the
guys.
Appalachia, western
I might end the stream here, guys. Bye.
Yeah, we do. We do it my way this time. Roger is cooking up his scheme.